guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to run an email I was sent from a subscriber. This from a guy, he's 33 years old, he's a doctor, neurosurgeon actually, huge deal, and he is brand new to the community. He found us a few days ago after he discovered some very bad information about his girlfriend and their origins, if you will, that led him to the channel. You see, our guy here is all set to propose to her this coming weekend, on Saturday actually. He has the whole thing planned out, blah, blah, blah. They've been together for 4 years, and he finds out this information, and it's so bad, and let me tell you, it's bad, that obviously he's deeply concerned and serious about ending it. And he's actually confronted her, and as you can imagine, Waterworks Central. Well, anyhow, he wrote into me the whole story, wanting to know what I thought and all that. And I wrote to him asking him, and he said I have permission to do a story here. And so I'm asking for all you guys to really help me out today and help him and chime in the comment section after I go through the story to give some advice based on your own experience or things you've learned from friends, family, and all that. Because I do not want to see another guy marry a gold digger, because that's what's going on here. And let me tell you, when you see what this is all about, you know, what he discovers, oh, it's not good. So, starts off, says here, Dear SSM, my name is Vince, code name. By the way, all the names have been changed to protect the identities of all the people involved, even locations. I'm Vince. A couple days ago, I stumbled upon a video from your Hit the Bricks channel that has some similarities to my situation, and I've been binge watching your content ever since. On your main channel, I saw that you have a series where subscribers send in their stories and ask questions about how to handle specific situations in their lives. I'm emailing you to do the same and ask whether you think I should or should not break up with my girlfriend. My email is not video worthy, I just appreciate a response. Brother, your story is 100% video worthy. Oh. English is my first language, but sorry in advance for any grammatical errors. My girlfriend and I are both from Tennessee. Our parents are immigrants. My grandparents immigrated from India, and her family is from Scandinavia. My girlfriend, who I will call Felicity, works as an HR assistant, good Lord, for a clothing brand, and I'm a neurosurgeon. I met Felicity at a neighbor's barbecue in 2022. That neighbor is Felicity's parental aunt. She introduced us and basically played matchmaker. So our guy, he's Indian background. Grandparents came here. Obviously, his name is not Vince. And she's from one of the Scandinavian countries. Okay. But again, neurosurgeon, big deal. And congratulations, friend. That's a fantastic achievement. By the way, since we're going to be discussing the subject of gold digging and all that, I did some quick research before I came out today to do this video. So, according to Google, the average starting salary for a neurosurgeon, I guess getting out of medical school or whatever level of medical school he did, is between, wait for it, $400,000 to $650,000, just starting out depending where you live. And obviously, if you live in a city like New York or San Francisco or something like that, much higher, but if you're middle of the nowhere, lower. For a experienced neurosurgeon, it can range between $763,000 and $962,000. And here in my home state of Florida, the average neurosurgeon who's experienced, $1.1 million a year. There you go. Now, obviously, he has a lot of loans and all that, but you get the point. So you can see how a young gold digger meets a neurosurgeon, all of a sudden it's like, boom, dollar signs circling around her head like birds. It's the ugly truth, but I'm not going to sugarcoat things here. Anyhow, to confirm the stereotype, Felicity is drop-dead gorgeous. I wasn't expecting it to go anywhere because I thought she was above my league. There was also a pretty big age gap between us. She was 22 at the time that we met, and I was 33. Okay, my bad. So he's 37 years old now. My bad. He met her at 33. On top of everything else, I recently had a messy breakup after catching my fiancé 2 years and girlfriend of 6 years texting another guy. So before he met codename Felicity here, he was engaged. And that didn't work out because she was cheating on him. And there's probably more than texting going on. So this guy's obviously sensitive to these things. I'm sorry about that, man. Well, I started talking to Felicity without putting much thought into it. And to my surprise, we had a lot in common. And we ended up talking the entire afternoon. We exchanged phone numbers that day and started seeing each other casually. Things moved fast, and a couple weeks later, we became exclusive. Couple weeks, smack. You're new here, Vince, and I smack people when they do boneheaded things. It's not necessarily to be mean. Well, it's not to be mean, it's just making a point. Us guys got to be smacked upside the head on occasion. Never get involved and get exclusive after a few weeks. You barely know the girl. It should be months, usually 5 or 6. And by the way, I gotta break these things down to help people understand things. You said that when you met that day, you just instantly got along and had so much in common. Well, think about it from the perspective of a young gal who's 22, beautiful, and meets a neurosurgeon. She's not dumb. She's not dumb that the status, the title, the education, the money. So, of course, you're going to have a lot in common because she's going to be agreeable to everything you talk about. Think about it. It's like guys that agree with pretty much all these beautiful women say because they want to get in their favor, which actually you shouldn't do, but guys do it. Anyhow, things were going great. Her family likes me, and even though my parents were initially hesitant at first because they wanted me to date and marry an Indian girl, they eventually welcomed Felicity with open arms. Well, I'm not surprised they wanted you to marry an Indian girl. Over the last couple of years, she also became very close with my mom and sisters. We moved in together last December, and I was planning to propose this Saturday. Oh, thank God you wrote in, man. My plan was to take her to my dad's beach house. Beach house, huh? Man, in her mind, she found the jackpot. I got to point these out. I was going to decorate the place with flowers, candles, and pictures from the past 4 years as a romantic gesture, and then pop the question. Flowers, candles, dude, really? Smack! A little overboard here. If she really loved you, you could propose in line at Chick-fil-A. But let me guess, she probably would want all that so she can take pictures and put on Instagram and all that. Anyhow, what happened, I'm going to put that aside because you're new. You only get one smack for that. Because what happened, what you preparing for that led you to make your discovery. That plan got completely derailed. Last week, while looking through old photos to print out, I remembered a funny picture we took at the Palace of Versailles during our trip to France a couple of years ago. Finding one picture out of who knows how many we took in 2023 felt like too much work. Felicity is somebody who likes to stay organized 24/7. She's big into journaling and making flowcharts, notes, and lists for everything. I knew she must have written something down about our trip. I found out exactly when we went there. I opened her laptop, and while searching through Notion, I came across a page that caught my attention. It was titled Boyfriend Options. Here we go, guys. Pay attention to this. The page had last been edited in April 13th, 2022, around the time that we became exclusive. On that page, she made a pros and cons list about me and 2 other dudes. I've attached a screenshot of the page so you can see it for yourself. This is for real. I saw the screenshot, and I'm keeping that for me. And let me tell you guys, it ain't pretty. I felt heartbroken and humiliated after reading what she wrote. Felicity was out shopping with my sister when I discovered this, and I called her and told her to come home because we needed to talk. She came back within half an hour. When I showed her the Notion page, she told me it wasn't what it looked like. Hobag Handbook Chapter 9. There are certain phrases, friend, that women use all the time. All of them, around the world. That's why I say they come from the Hobag book. Little lines that they all use. And it's not what it looks like. She said that after I asked her to be exclusive, she was trying to figure out whether she really wanted to commit to a relationship with me. Okay, so I'm going to mention a few things about this list, guys, from what I can remember. On the list with him, under pros, it's all these things that essentially deal with his education, status, wealth, earning potential, all that, more or less. And under cons, there are a few things about his personality she mentions, but pretty much says that he's short and he's Indian. And what else? What is this? She said, I kid you not, no joke. She says he looks like a lesbian. Hand of God, it's the freaking truth, amongst many insulting things. And the other two guys, their pros have good positive things, but one in particular, he has a whole list of the pros all about his looks, his body type, that he's spontaneous, that he's exciting, has a motorcycle, all these things that are associated with a bad boy. And under cons, broke, dumb, all these things. Well, as you can imagine, this guy seeing all that definitely is upsetting. I mean, if you were labeled some of those things, that would make you have a problem too. So in other words, who'd she go with? As a young gold digger, the guy with the money, the earning potential. Nope, no good. Anyhow, we moved a little too quickly, and she didn't know me well enough back then. She said she probably wrote some stupid things that she'd never say now. I asked her if that included me being Indian. He saw the proof. Well, she started apologizing profusely. She said that she was young and an idiot back then. Well, I have news. She's still young and she's an idiot now. She never dated an Indian guy before and had bought into a lot of negative stereotypes about my race. I shifted the topic to Dave and Bob. She was visibly becoming uncomfortable when I brought them up. I asked if she was still sleeping with them after we started dating. Now listen to this. Can you all predict what's about to happen? 3, 2, 1. She started tearing up and admitted that she did sleep with Bob one time. One time, huh? Not quite buying it. So they were together, exclusive, and she cheated with another guy. I don't care if it was one time or 75 times, doesn't matter. So already, let's review so far what he's found. That she had a pro-con list about him. All the pros pretty much dealt with his success, his status, his education, and earnings potential, and family wealth, and pretty much complaining about other things and saying nasty stuff about him, his race, his looks, called him looking like a lesbian, among other things. Meanwhile, the other guys had positive things, and one guy, Bob, codenamed Bob, had all sorts of attributes like a bad boy, and was broke and dumb and all that. Sound like a good girl to marry? I think not. This is why I read this. I'm like, oh no. About a week after we started seeing each other, I asked her if she was sleeping with anybody else. And she said no. Maybe I was naive, but I believed her. Well, you wanted to believe her. You're 33, 22-year-old smoking hot, beautiful woman is totally into you. You want to believe that, but you can't, man. You got to do your homework. I would have taken her less seriously. She said she thought I would have taken her less seriously if I'd known she was seeing other people. But it wouldn't have been a deal breaker because we were just casual at that point. Regardless, she was lying to you. And also, yeah, she was seeing multiple people and you're casual, but still. Your foundation of your relationship is built on a lie. And her saying nasty stuff about you and obviously being a gold digger. That's why she got together with you, dude. My issue is that I started going down on her after she told me she was not sleeping with anybody else. I don't do that to a girl who's sleeping with other people because I find it disgusting. It doesn't matter even if they are using protection. Well, here's the thing. Does anybody here believe that the roll in the hay with Bob was one time? And if you guys saw the list that I got to see of all Bob's attributes, motorcycle, exciting, unpredictable, spontaneous, hot, good-looking, all these things. And then his typical negative qualities like he's dumb and broke and all these things. Typical bad boy type. Who they're going to choose. One time, really? I'm not buying it. I hope I'm wrong. Although it happened years ago, I still feel nauseous thinking about it. Seeing my expression, she apologized to me for lying and told me that they used protection. She also said that those things happened years ago and asked why am I digging up the past now. See what she just did? She's trying to turn things around. Why are you digging up the past now? Making him out to be a villain here. All the evidence is right there. I got to see it and hear about it. And she's already trying the tactics to making the bad guy here. Lady, it doesn't make a difference if it happened 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago. It still matters. I lost my cool and yelled at her that she knows exactly why. I told her she never loved me and did not even find me attractive. She disliked every physical aspect of me, including my race. She wrote that I looked like a lesbian and that I was short, and even when she complimented my package size, she made sure to mention that it was surprising to show how little she respected me as a man. Correct. And if a woman doesn't respect you, she'll never love you. I know a lot of you guys know that because I say it all the time, but our brother here's new. FYI, I do have softer facial features, but I'm 5'11" and she's 5'8". If you're 5'11", you're not short, sir. But this goes back to the stereotype of women in the sixes. They want a guy, the dream guy, 6 feet tall, 6-pack, income, 6-figure salary, bonus 6 inches or more down south. I bet if you're 6 feet tall, then it'd be a different ballgame. I told her that the only thing she cared about was that I could take care of her financially and be her emotional tampon. Ooh. I called her a user and gold digging SLUT. Whew. I don't blame you. She didn't argue. She just kept crying and apologizing. She didn't argue because she knows you're right. That was the sole reason she got together with you, sole reason she stayed, and sole reason she'd marry you. I know this is hard, and I'm sorry it's happened to you, sir. It's a tough pill to swallow, but life ain't pretty. And she's an American woman, regardless that the family, grandparents immigrated here. She's American. And she's behaving like a young, beautiful American woman. And again, when she met you, $signs. She was telling me that she's a different person now. No, she's not. And that she loved me. I told her she does not love me. She wanted Bob. And if he wasn't a broke loser, she never would have been with me. If Bob made a lot of money, she'd be with Bob. And here's the thing. If she loves you so much and everything, if suddenly you decided that you no longer want to be a neurosurgeon, or say you were going to stay in the medical profession, but you were going to do something that in a nonprofit or volunteer work, I don't know what, something that would greatly reduce your earning potential, and you were cut off from your family, so you wouldn't get one penny of their wealth, you think she'd still be with you, dying to marry you? I question that. I told her that I think she was effing Bob behind my back all these years. She said she completely cut off all communication with him once our relationship became serious, and she never cheated on me. Well, she ruined all her credibility with what you discovered. She made a gesture to give me her phone and even offered to take a polygraph test. I refused and told her to leave my house because I don't want to see her. Good for you. Good for you, man. I guarantee most guys would never do that. I bet actually her respect for you went up by you kicking her out. She begged me not to do this and asked where she's supposed to go. I told her to go to Bob's place. Please, a 26-year-old beautiful woman, they always have options and places to go. She can go to her family's, for heaven's sake. After going back and forth, I told her that if she didn't leave, I would. Eventually, she packed a bag and left to stay with her parents. Before leaving, she begged us to go to couples counseling and said she'll do anything to prove that she loved me. Yeah, couples counseling. You know how that usually works? Typically, it's a female counselor, and overwhelmingly, they join forces with the woman against the guy. I didn't say anything, and she left. I'm not proud of my outburst, but I would have done the same thing even if I didn't lose my temper. Nobody can blame you. It's ideal to keep your cool with women because they can then use you yelling at them or whatever against you. But nobody can blame you, and you're new to this. Later, I got a few phone calls from her parents asking what happened and why Felicia looked so distraught. That didn't take long. Before she left, I asked her not to speak a word about this with anybody because I didn't know what I wanted to do. If I took her back, I didn't want to air my dirty laundry in public. Of course, she told people. You darn right she did that. She's bringing in the reserves to help ensure that her 4-year investment doesn't get wasted. When her parents kept pressing for details, I just told them that we were having problems and it was best for her to stay with them for the time being. Good answer. Since then, Felicity's been constantly texting and calling me, begging me to let her come home and ask me to go to couples counseling. I've ignored most of it. No, do not do couples counseling. You don't need professional guidance over the fact of what she did and what she said, and she's a liar and all these things. No amount of counseling is going to change the fact that she's a gold digger and she's a liar, and your foundation's built on that. I never went to counseling, but I did take her up on the polygraph offer. While browsing Reddit and other sites looking for questions to ask her, I came across the video of yours. Man, she's agreeing to do a polygraph test? You know, I have a theory about polygraph tests, and especially how I think they can be flawed when using the test on women. Because women's are driven by their emotions, and I believe the test is hooked up all over the place to measure heart rate and blood pressure and stuff like that. They can let their emotions take charge, and whether something is true or not, they can make themselves feel it, what they're saying, and therefore their heart and blood pressure reacts to what they're saying, whether it's true or not. That's just me. I'm cynical, but I don't know. What do you guys think about the polygraph test in women and faking it? I want to hear what you think. The first thing I asked was whether she cheated on me with Bob or anybody else over the last 4 years. She said no, and that turned out to be true. That's what the polygraph said. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I'm not quite buying the polygraph thing. I asked whether she still had feelings for Bob, and again, she said no, and according to the test, that was true. I asked if she really loved me and found me attractive, or if she was just with me just for the money. She said that when we first met, she was young and selfish. Ding, ding, ding. So she couldn't give you a yes or no answer. Now she has an explanation. She admitted that one of the reasons she was interested in me was because I was a surgeon and my family was wealthy. There you go. What I tell you, the first day you met her at the barbecue. That's why you had so much in common and got along so well, because she's thinking dollar signs, dollar signs. She also admitted she had a strong attraction for Bob when we first got together. You think? I read the list about Bob's attributes. But over the years, she generally came to love me for who I am and wouldn't trade the life we built together for, wait for it, $1 billion. Not for Bob or anybody else. Get the fuck out of here. She wouldn't trade you for $1 billion? Uh-huh. You know how many guys are probably laughing out loud about that all over the world right now, or spitting out their drinks, or almost driving their car off the side of the road because they're like, what? $1 billion? She would keep you $1 billion or be with you? Really? I think if somebody offered $1 million, she'd be like, see ya, and off to Bob's house, or off to Bob's trailer, or whatever. She doesn't have any feelings for Bob, and the only man she wants to be with right now is me. Did she actually say right now? What happens when you say I do and there's no prenup and she's got it made? Right now is bye-bye. Those statements came out to be true. Hearing what she said stung a little bit, but I appreciate her honesty. I'm not buying it. Then I asked why she lied about sleeping with Bob. Oh, here we go. She said that she guessed I was a conservative man and would think less of her if I knew she was dating multiple guys. I asked a lot more questions that I won't share here because they're too personal. But based on everything, I believe she initially dated me only for what I can do for her. But her feelings have changed a lot over the years. Regardless, let's just say her feelings have changed over the years. Your foundation is built on that. And I'm not buying it at all. I don't believe people change. Well, okay, it's capable. People are capable of changing. It is possible, but by and large, people's nature, their core characteristics do not change. And an inherent thing in all, there are things that just are predominant in men and predominant women around the world and have always been that way since the beginning of time. You know, what drives us, what motivates us, how we react, what we're attracted to. And money, wealth, and power have always been attracted to women. I don't care where you are in the world, whether it's 100 years ago, 500 years ago, or 5,000 years ago, it's the same damn thing. And she was drawn to you because of that. And I'm sure you're a cool guy, but still. You look at the list. Who is she hot for? Bob. Knowing that makes me feel a little bit better, but part of me still thinks I should end the relationship. That's your gut telling you that. She lied to me in the beginning. If I'd known that she got into the relationship with me because I was a better financial prospect, I would have broken things off with her. I was robbed of that choice. Yes, and obviously he roped you in with her looks, her charm, her body, all that. So now you're roped in. 4 years of your life, man. On top of all that, every time I look at the Notion page and read the prose she wrote about him, most of which boiled down to how physically attractive she found him, my anger comes rushing back. I end up feeling inferior to a man that I never even met. Why should I keep torturing myself like that? Correct, sir. And you're never going to forget this, ever. You're always going to sleep with one eye open going forward, always wondering what she's doing. And not to mention, for your own mental health and peace in life, this could affect your career as a doctor, being stressed out about this all the time. Seriously. But another part of me thinks about the past 4 years. Felicity stood by me during some very difficult times. I have personal issues that she helped me overcome. She was a model girlfriend, and part of me is in love with this woman. In love with who you thought she was, or in love with who she really is? I think you're in love with who you thought she was. Sometimes I think maybe all of that belongs in the past, and I should get over it. No, it's a mess, and can't seem to make a decision about what to do with this relationship. As I said earlier, I haven't talked to my friends or family about this yet. Even if I did, I know most, if not all of them, would want me to work things out with her. I'd really appreciate your opinion on what would be the right thing to do in my situation. Thank you. Well, sir, I really appreciate you writing in. I know that wasn't easy, and you've been through a hell of a lot. And so here goes. Jumping around here, let's get down to the brass tacks here. You can't marry her. I think it'd be a disaster. Absolutely. And I know I told you that in the email, and you know that already going into this. Your foundation is built on a lie. You're in love with who you thought she was. And you just mentioned how she stood by you through some tough times and everything. That's great. But she's also standing by her investment. She met you, and it's like, okay, I got to deal with this, got to deal with that. But it's worth it, given the payout. And I mentioned earlier about, according to Google, the different averages what neurosurgeons make starting out, establishing their career, depending on where they're going. His family's wealthy. What a great deal for her. She can stand by him during some tough times. I know I sound, to people that are new, overly cynical, skeptical, but you live long as I have, 48 and a half years, you've been in plenty of relationships, and done thousands and thousands of these stories, you pick up on the patterns. And I have. And I think it's a terrible idea. Yeah, if Bob had money, she'd have been with Bob. Or if she had money, she'd be with Bob, Or I really think if you were not a neurosurgeon, you went to something that far less earning potential, and you weren't going to inherit one penny from your family, and you wouldn't have access to the beach house, I think it'd be quite different. And I wouldn't trade you for $1 billion. That's a billion pieces of bullshit that she is saying right at you. Good God Almighty. So, sir, I do not think you should marry her. Look at this as a gift from heaven or somebody up there, God, the power of Grayskull, somebody or something, that you got to see this information prior to proposing to her. And hopefully you can return the ring. And I want to say this, you ended with her, it ain't going to be easy because she's invested with your friends and family. And of course, they're going to think it's a big mistake, especially the females. You said she goes shopping with your sister, so they're obviously pals. You end this with her, expect to get an avalanche of people texting you and calling you and telling you're making a mistake and blah, blah, blah. But something tells me you have reserves of strength, like you did when you kicked her out, that regardless of that, you're not going to let them sway your decision. I think it's a terrible idea. And now you're 37, and I'm sure you want a family, you want children and everything. You're like, back to the freaking drawing board. Yeah, that stinks. But do you really want to be with somebody like this? I don't want to see it happen to you, because the odds are, you get married, and then guess what? She's back to her bullshit again. A lot of guys get married, and they think they put the time in, they believe the waterworks, they want to hear it, and the next thing you know, they're taken to the cleaners. I want that to happen to you, so be aware of that, man. And she's gonna try every tactic and trick, But here's the thing, man. I'm a big believer in backup plans. In fact, I'm a fan of backup plans for backup plans. And so in the event that after a lot of tossing and turning and thinking about it, you decide to marry her anyway, which I don't think you should do, but let's say you do it, for heaven's sake, get a prenup. A good lawyer, as best of an ironclad prenup as you can. I know there's no 100% guarantee in life, but still, where it's established, signed, sealed, and delivered months before the wedding, so she can't claim duress. She has her own prenup, all these type of things. She said she'd do anything to make it work out and blah, blah, blah. Well, there you go. That's one thing she can do. And in that prenup, an infidelity clause and all these things to protect yourself, your current wealth, any inheritance you may get, blah, blah, blah. At the very least, that. And then also, if you're going to do this, you take even more time in there. But again, I'm saying that only if you go for the marriage. I don't think you should do it. But anyhow, sir, you got a lot of thinking to do. This is tough. I hear you. I'm sorry it happened to you, man. But again, at least you saw this stuff before you married. What if you found this out after you married her and already, no prenup, she's got you, And here's the thing. You are a catch. You're 5'11", you're tall. I don't care what the fuck she says. You're a neurosurgeon. You're a cool dude. You're a good guy and all that. You're a catch. You just have to be very, very careful. That's the problem with guys that they have high titles that are associated with wealth and everything. You got to be careful because you never know who's with you for, you know what I mean? It's like I think of the movie Coming to America when Eddie Murphy didn't want to just marry some royal chick. He wanted to come to America and meet some gal who would actually like him for him. And he pretended to be a poor guy working at McDowell's. Seriously, I mean, and that, well, that worked. But that was a fucking movie, a classic movie. But anyhow, it's kind of like you got to do that, and you'll really see who they are. So, sir, good luck to you. Got a lot to think about. If you want, certainly report back to us, and I'd love to hear how things turn out for you. And again, guys, like I said in the beginning, please do take 30 seconds to a minute or two to chime in. Let this guy know what you think. Help a brother out. He's new to the community, and hopefully we get a long-standing member. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me and him know what you think about this. And if you like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.